What if the world around you, the one you believe to be objectively real, is actually far more fluid and malleable than you've ever imagined? And what if certain powerful entities, perhaps even within the highest levels of government, have long possessed this knowledge, carefully guarding it from the public eye? The sense of unease, the feeling that something is fundamentally off in the world today, could it be a sign that the very fabric of reality is beginning to unravel? Reality is breaking down, and declassified Pentagon documents, while seemingly innocuous on the surface, might just be the first tangible evidence of this profound shift. But don't mistake this for a harbinger of doom. This isn't about apocalyptic predictions or fear-mongering. Instead, consider it an invitation, an opportunity to awaken to the true nature of existence and take conscious control of your experience. Throughout history, governments have often concealed or downplayed information regarding paradigm-shifting events. From the mysteries surrounding UFOs to the suppressed research into consciousness, there's a recurring pattern of official denial clashing with emerging truths. The documents themselves may not scream, "Reality is collapsing," but they contain breadcrumbs, subtle anomalies, and data points that, when connected, paint a startling picture. Ignoring the signs of this potential reality breakdown carries profound consequences, impacting everything from individual well-being to the stability of society itself. Imagine a world where truth becomes increasingly subjective, where misinformation spreads like wildfire, and where the foundations of our shared reality crumble beneath our feet. We are already seeing symptoms. The rise of conspiracy theories, the deepening political polarization, and the palpable sense of social unrest. Understanding the fluid nature of reality isn't just an abstract philosophical exercise. It's a critical skill for navigating the complexities of the modern world, for discerning truth from fiction, and for building a future grounded in conscious creation rather than passive acceptance. This video isn't just about exposing a potential crisis. It's about empowering you to become a conscious co-creator, to question everything, and to actively shape the reality you experience. Think of it as a personal and collective awakening. But what exactly is reality, anyway? Most of us operate under the assumption of a consensus reality, a shared agreement about how the world works, maintained through collective beliefs, social norms, and cultural expectations. We take for granted countless aspects of daily life, from the nature of work and the definition of success to the very structure of time and space. These are, in essence, collectively held beliefs that solidify into our perceived reality. However, this consensus is not as immutable as we think. It's a constantly evolving tapestry woven from individual and collective consciousness. Our individual beliefs and perceptions play a pivotal role in shaping our experience of reality, and we can change our reality by changing our beliefs and perceptions. The placebo effect, where a sugar pill can produce real physiological changes, is one prime example. Similarly, self-fulfilling prophecies demonstrate how our expectations can influence outcomes. In this video, we'll embark on a journey through metaphysics, quantum physics, psychology, and ancient wisdom traditions, drawing upon the insights of each to unravel the mysteries of reality. We'll question the reliability of our five senses, challenging the assumption that they provide an accurate or complete representation of the world around us. What if there are realities beyond our sensory perception, alternative dimensions, or frequencies that we are simply unable to detect with our limited biological tools? What if the key to unlocking these realities lies within our own minds? As we journey, we will look at the many mysteries that plague this world and challenge you to think bigger than you ever have. If reality is indeed breaking down, what can we do to navigate this transition? Could the Pentagon documents hold hidden clues, coded messages hinting at a deeper understanding of reality and how it can be manipulated? Is it possible that seemingly random events, coincidences, and synchronicities are not merely chance occurrences, but meaningful signals guiding us toward a greater truth? Join us as we delve into these questions and unlock ancient and modern techniques that will equip you with the tools to navigate this reality breakdown. Become more conscious, resilient, and empowered, and ultimately create your own reality. But let's pause for a moment and consider the reality most of us take for granted, the official version presented to us from childhood. This reality is characterized by its perceived stability, predictability, and an underlying sense of objectivity. We are taught that the physical world operates according to fixed laws, that cause and effect are linear and dependable, and that our senses provide an accurate representation of what's out there. Think about the Newtonian physics worldview, a paradigm that held sway for centuries, portraying the universe as a giant clockwork mechanism, governed by immutable laws and predictable trajectories. Each object has a definite position and momentum, its future state determined by its past. This understanding provided a sense of control, an ability to calculate and predict, solidifying the idea of an objective, knowable universe. But what if this is just one perspective, one way of interpreting the infinite possibilities of existence? Our societal structures further reinforce this seemingly concrete reality. Education systems diligently transmit cultural norms, established values, and accepted historical narratives, shaping young minds to fit within the existing framework. Governments enact laws and policies based on the assumption of a predictable and controllable world, striving to maintain order and stability. Media outlets, while often presenting diverse viewpoints, nonetheless contribute to a shared understanding of current events, framing narratives that shape public opinion and solidify a consensus reality. Even the scientific method, with its emphasis on empirical observation and repeatable experiments, reinforces this view. It seeks to establish universal laws and verifiable facts, further solidifying our belief in an objective reality that can be measured and understood. There's undeniable comfort in believing in this stable and predictable world. It provides a sense of security, reduces anxiety about the unknown, and allows us to navigate daily life with a sense of control. The human mind, by its nature, craves certainty. It seeks patterns and predictability to make sense of the overwhelming amount of information it receives. This need for certainty is deeply ingrained, shaping our perceptions and influencing our choices. When we believe in a stable reality, we feel safer, more grounded, and more capable of managing our lives. But what happens when this sense of certainty is challenged, when the foundations of our perceived reality begin to crack? It's also key to remember that our perception is riddled with cognitive biases, subtle distortions in our thinking that can significantly warp how we interpret the world. Confirmation bias, for instance, leads us to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs, while simultaneously filtering out anything that contradicts them. This creates an echo chamber, reinforcing our worldview and making it resistant to change. The availability heuristic causes us to overestimate the importance of information that is readily available in our minds, often leading to irrational fears and distorted perceptions of risk. Anchoring bias leads us to rely too heavily on the first piece of information we receive, even if it's irrelevant or inaccurate, influencing our subsequent judgments and decisions. These biases, and countless others, subtly shape our understanding of reality, reinforcing our existing beliefs and making it difficult to see beyond the confines of our own minds. So, how can we be sure that what we perceive as real is not simply a product of our biased thinking? Now, let's pivot and examine some anomalies, some cracks in the facade of this official reality. The Pentagon documents, for example, while often dismissed as mundane or easily explainable, contain tantalizing hints of phenomena that defy conventional understanding. These documents, often released under Freedom of Information requests, offer glimpses into the government's investigation of unexplained aerial phenomena, UAPs, objects observed in our skies that exhibit capabilities far beyond those of known aircraft. Consider the reports describing UAPs performing maneuvers that defy the laws of physics as we understand them. Sudden stops, instantaneous acceleration, and hypersonic speeds without any discernible means of propulsion. These are not simply misidentified, whether balloons or conventional aircraft. They are anomalies that challenge the very foundations of our understanding of reality. Perhaps these documents are not just innocent reports, but potential leaks, unintended disclosures revealing far more than officials intend to admit. It's conceivable that these governments possess knowledge of phenomena that they cannot fully explain, and more importantly, cannot control. The release of these documents may be a carefully orchestrated attempt to manage public perception, to slowly introduce the idea that there are aspects of reality that lie beyond our current understanding. What if the purpose isn't transparency, but rather a controlled unveiling, a way to acclimate the public to the existence of the unknown without causing widespread panic or societal disruption? Are these documents a glimpse behind the curtain, or a carefully crafted illusion designed to maintain control? Interestingly, these UAP sightings are not entirely new. Throughout history, across cultures and continents, there are accounts of strange flying objects, celestial beings, and otherworldly encounters. Ancient myths and legends are rife with stories of gods descending from the heavens in flying chariots, of mysterious lights appearing in the sky, and of encounters with beings from other realms. Are these merely fanciful tales, or are they echoes of real events, distorted and embellished over time? Could these ancient accounts be connected to modern UAP sightings, suggesting that these phenomena have been present throughout human history? It begs the question, what if these documents are not an introduction to something new, but a reminder of something ancient and persistent, a phenomenon that has been with us all along? The question then becomes, why the secrecy? Why the official denial and the carefully managed disclosure? The pattern of suppressed knowledge surrounding UFOs and other sensitive topics is well documented. For decades, governments have downplayed or dismissed reports of UAP sightings, often attributing them to natural phenomena or psychological illusions. Witnesses have been ridiculed, evidence has been discredited, and research has been stifled. What motivates this secrecy? Is it fear of societal disruption, a concern that the revelation of advanced technology could destabilize the existing world order? Or is there a deeper, more profound reason, a desire to protect a particular worldview or to maintain control over the narrative of reality itself? Perhaps the truth is far stranger than we can imagine, and its revelation would shatter the very foundations of our perceived reality. But the cracks in the facade extend beyond government documents and unexplained aerial phenomena. Let's delve into the realm of quantum physics, a field that has revolutionized our understanding of the universe and challenged our most basic assumptions about reality. At the heart of quantum physics lie concepts that seem to defy logic and common sense: superposition, entanglement, and the observer effect. Superposition suggests that a particle can exist in multiple states simultaneously until measured, and it forces us to reconsider our understanding of definite properties. Entanglement demonstrates a strange interconnectedness between particles, regardless of the distance separating them, challenging our notions of locality and causality. The observer effect implies that the very act of observation can influence the outcome of a quantum experiment, suggesting that consciousness may play a more fundamental role in shaping reality than previously thought. These quantum concepts challenge the classical notions of reality, the ideas of objectivity, causality, and determinism that have dominated scientific thought for centuries. If a particle can exist in multiple states at once, does that mean that reality is not fixed or definite until we observe it? If entangled particles can instantaneously influence each other across vast distances, does that mean that our understanding of space and time is incomplete? And if the act of observation can change the outcome of an experiment, Does that mean that our consciousness is inextricably linked to the fabric of reality? Quantum physics suggests that the universe is far more mysterious, fluid, and interconnected than we ever imagined. It's a glimpse beyond the veil, a hint that our conventional understanding of reality is just the tip of the iceberg. Could consciousness play a fundamental role in shaping reality? Some interpretations of quantum mechanics certainly suggest this possibility, pointing to the observer effect as evidence that our minds are not simply passive observers of the universe, but active participants in its creation. The hard problem of consciousness remains one of the greatest challenges in science. How can subjective experience arise from physical matter? How can the firing of neurons in the brain give rise to feelings, thoughts, and awareness? Some researchers believe that consciousness is not simply a byproduct of brain activity, but a fundamental property of the universe, as fundamental as space, time, and gravity. If this is true, then our thoughts, beliefs, and intentions may have a far greater impact on reality than we currently understand. Consider the concept of the quantum field, the idea that all things are interconnected through a universal field of energy and information. This field is not simply empty space. It is a dynamic, vibrating web of potentiality, a sea of infinite possibilities from which all things arise. Every particle, every atom, every living being is connected to this field, constantly exchanging information and energy. The implications of the quantum field are profound. It suggests that we are not separate individuals, but interconnected parts of a larger whole. It provides a potential explanation for phenomena like synchronicity, intuition, and non-local communication, experiences that seem to defy the limitations of space and time. Is it possible that we can tap into this field, accessing information and influencing reality in ways that we are only beginning to understand? These connections in the quantum field could explain synchronicity, those uncanny, meaningful coincidences that seem to defy the laws of probability. Imagine thinking of an old friend you haven't seen in years, and then suddenly receiving a call from them the very next day. Or perhaps you're struggling with a difficult problem, and then stumble upon a book or article that provides the exact solution you need. These are not simply random occurrences. They are synchronicities, meaningful patterns that suggest a deeper order at play in the universe. Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychiatrist, described synchronicity as an acausal connecting principle, a phenomenon that links events together not through cause and effect, but through meaning and resonance. Synchronicities can be deeply significant psychologically, often interpreted as signs or messages from the universe. Experiencing a synchronicity can evoke a sense of awe, wonder, and connection to something larger than oneself, and can offer guidance and reassurance during times of uncertainty or transition. It's as if the universe is winking at you, letting you know that you're on the right path. The more attuned you become to these synchronicities, the more you begin to recognize the subtle patterns and connections that permeate your life. These can often lead to feelings of awe, wonder, and connection to something larger than oneself. Perhaps synchronicities are evidence of a living universe, a conscious or intelligent entity that is actively communicating with us. This idea is not new. Many ancient cultures believed that the universe was alive and imbued with consciousness. The Gaia hypothesis, for example, posits that the Earth is a self-regulating organism, a complex and interconnected system that maintains its own stability and balance. If the universe is indeed conscious, then synchronicities could be interpreted as intentional communications, subtle nudges guiding us towards our highest potential. Is it possible that the universe is not simply a collection of inert matter, but a vast, intelligent network of interconnected consciousnesses? All of this challenges the notion of randomness. Are events truly random, or is there a deeper order or pattern underlying reality? Chaos theory suggests that even seemingly random systems can exhibit patterns and predictability at a deeper level. The famous butterfly effect, illustrates how a small change in initial conditions can have enormous consequences down the line, demonstrating the interconnectedness of seemingly unrelated events. Perhaps what we perceive as randomness is simply our inability to see the underlying patterns, the hidden connections that link all things together. It forces us to question, what if there is no such thing as true randomness, and every event, no matter how insignificant, is part of a grand, interconnected tapestry? Let's expand our minds even further and entertain the possibility that our reality isn't what it seems. The simulation hypothesis, popularized by movies like The Matrix and Dark City, proposes that our entire reality is a computer simulation created by an advanced civilization. While it may sound like science fiction, the simulation hypothesis has gained traction among scientists, philosophers, and technologists who argue that it is at least theoretically possible. If a civilization were advanced enough to create a computer simulation capable of replicating the complexities of our universe, would we even know it? There are compelling arguments for and against this simulation. Proponents point to the apparent limitations and glitches in our reality, the speed of light, the Planck length, and the seemingly arbitrary constants of nature. These could be seen as constraints imposed by the simulation's programmers. Others argue that creating such a simulation would be computationally impossible, requiring vast amounts of energy and resources. Furthermore, there's no way to prove or disprove the simulation hypothesis definitively. It remains a philosophical thought experiment, a mind-bending exploration of the nature of reality. But what if, in our search for answers, we stumble upon glitches in the system, subtle anomalies that reveal the artificial nature of our world? Regardless of whether we're in a simulation, many spiritual traditions speak of alternative realities, other dimensions or planes of existence beyond our current perception. From parallel universes to astral projection and near-death experiences, there are countless accounts of glimpses into other realms. Perhaps our current reality is just one slice of a much larger, multi-dimensional universe, a universe teeming with infinite possibilities. This concept of alternative realities isn't new. Many ancient spiritual traditions describe multiple dimensions or planes of existence, and they align with the idea of higher levels of awareness. Theosophy, for instance, speaks of the astral plane, a realm of subtle energies and psychic phenomena that exists alongside our physical world. Various religions describe multiple heavens and hells, realms of reward and punishment that await us after death. While these concepts may seem fantastical, they share a common thread: the idea that our reality is not the only one, and that there are other dimensions or levels of existence beyond our current comprehension. Given all of this is the perceived reality breakdown, not a cause for despair, but a catalyst for something far greater, an awakening. Perhaps the instability and uncertainty we are experiencing are not signs of impending doom, but necessary stages in the evolution of consciousness. Crises often create opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformation, forcing us to question our assumptions, reevaluate our priorities, and create new ways of being. The breakdown of old systems and structures can pave the way for new, more conscious, and more sustainable ways of living. So, instead of fearing the chaos, perhaps we should embrace it as a catalyst for positive change. What if questioning reality isn't a sign of madness, but a path to empowerment? Challenging our assumptions and expanding our understanding of the world can lead to greater self-awareness, creativity, and resilience. When we realize that our perceptions are not fixed or absolute, we become more open to new possibilities, more willing to embrace change, and more capable of navigating the complexities of life. Questioning reality can free us from limiting beliefs and empower us to create a more meaningful and fulfilling existence. Perhaps the greatest adventure is not exploring the outer world, but exploring the inner landscape of our own minds. Now more than ever, critical thinking and discernment are essential skills for navigating the complexities of a changing world. We are bombarded with information from countless sources, and it can be difficult to distinguish truth from fiction. Fact-checking, identifying biases, and evaluating sources are crucial for forming our own informed opinions. It encourages us to engage in healthy skepticism, to question everything, and to seek out multiple perspectives before arriving at a conclusion. The ability to think critically and discern truth from falsehood is not simply an intellectual exercise. It's a vital skill for protecting ourselves from manipulation and for creating a more just and equitable world. Ultimately, as we navigate this potential reality breakdown, let's embrace the concept of conscious co-creation, the understanding that we have the power to shape our own reality through our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. The law of attraction suggests that we attract into our lives what we focus on, whether positive or negative. By focusing on positive outcomes, cultivating gratitude, and aligning our thoughts and actions with our intentions, we can consciously create a reality that is more aligned with our values and aspirations. We are not simply passive victims of circumstance. We are active participants in the creation of our own experience. So, let's choose wisely, let's focus on the positive, and let's create a world that reflects our highest ideals. What if we all started believing it? So, how do we begin to consciously co-create when the very ground beneath our feet seems to be shifting? To understand that, we must delve into the psychological factors that shape our experience of reality, the often unseen forces that mold our perceptions and beliefs. One such force is our fundamental need for what psychologists call ontological security, a sense of safety and stability in our understanding of the world. This deep-seated need drives us to create consistent narratives, to cling to familiar beliefs, and to construct a framework that makes sense of our experiences, even when faced with contradictory information. Think about the narratives we create around our personal identities, our careers, our relationships. These stories provide us with a sense of continuity, purpose, and belonging. They are the anchors that keep us grounded amidst the chaos of life. But what happens when those anchors are severed, when the narratives we've constructed begin to unravel? Traumatic experiences, whether personal or collective, can shatter our sense of ontological security, leaving us feeling disoriented, unreal, and detached. A sudden job loss, a betrayal by a loved one, a serious illness, these events can shake the foundations of our perceived reality, forcing us to question everything we thought we knew. Trauma can alter our perception, distort our memories, and even fragment our sense of self, leaving us feeling lost in a world that no longer makes sense. Consider the experiences of war veterans struggling with PTSD, their minds haunted by vivid flashbacks, and their sense of reality permanently altered by the horrors they witnessed. Or think about the survivors of natural disasters, their lives upended, and their sense of security shattered by the sudden and unpredictable forces of nature. What happens, then, when these individual traumas become collective, when entire societies experience a shared sense of instability and unease? Perhaps the current societal climate, with its rapid technological advancements, political polarization, and environmental concerns, is triggering a form of collective trauma, disrupting our shared sense of reality and leaving us feeling adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Events like pandemics, economic crises, and social unrest can create a pervasive sense of anxiety and fear, eroding our trust in institutions and undermining our belief in a stable future. This collective unease can manifest in various ways: increased rates of mental illness, rising social divisions, and a growing sense of alienation and despair. But within this disorientation lies a potent opportunity, a chance to reassess our assumptions, challenge our beliefs, and seek deeper truths about ourselves and the world around us. Could this perceived reality breakdown be a necessary catalyst, a collective dark night of the soul that paves the way for a more conscious and compassionate future? This disorientation, this reality breakdown, can be likened to a psychological process known as ego death, a a temporary or permanent loss of the sense of self, often associated with spiritual experiences or altered states of consciousness. While the term may sound alarming, ego death is not necessarily a negative experience. In fact, it can be a profound catalyst for personal growth and transformation. Think about the accounts of individuals who have undergone transformative experiences after using psychedelics, substances known to induce ego death, losing their sense of self and experiencing a profound connection to something larger than themselves. These experiences, while often challenging, can lead to a shedding of limiting beliefs, a dissolving of old identities, and a newfound sense of purpose and meaning. What if the collapse of our familiar reality can be seen as a form of ego death on a societal scale, an opportunity to shed the limiting beliefs and identities that have been holding us back? This form of societal ego death, while perhaps frightening, holds within it the potential for profound transformation and healing. When the familiar structures of our lives crumble, when our sense of self is challenged, we are forced to confront our deepest fears and insecurities. But in that confrontation lies the opportunity to release old patterns, to forgive past hurts, and to emerge with a greater sense of self-awareness, compassion, and connection. Consider the potential for increased empathy and understanding that can arise from experiencing a shared crisis, as people come together to support one another and to rebuild their communities. Or think about the surge of creativity and innovation that can be sparked by times of upheaval, as individuals are forced to think outside the box and to find new solutions to old problems. How can we navigate the uncertainty and discomfort that can accompany ego death, seeing it not as an ending, but as a necessary step in the journey towards awakening? We can look to phenomena such as near-death experiences, NDEs, and out-of-body experiences, OBEs, for further insights into the nature of reality and the potential for consciousness to exist beyond the physical body. NDEs are profound experiences that occur to people who are close to death, while OBEs involve a sense of floating outside one's physical body. Common phenomena associated with these experiences include seeing a bright light, feeling a sense of peace, having a life review, and encountering deceased loved ones. Countless people who have clinically died for a short period have reported many of the same things. These experiences challenge conventional science, but they align well with the simulation theory. The fact that the reports are so strikingly similar points towards a possible shared reality or source code beyond our bodies. Consider the accounts of individuals who have reported seeing their bodies from above during an OBE, or traveling to other realms during an NDE, encountering beings of light and receiving profound spiritual insights. Or think about the challenge these experiences pose to materialistic explanations of consciousness, the difficulty of explaining how people can have vivid and detailed experiences while their brains are not functioning normally. Could these experiences be glimpses beyond the veil, evidence of a larger, more fundamental reality that lies beyond the confines of our physical senses? Even more questions are raised when considering that some people are able to consciously access information beyond what should be available through conventional sensory means. Remote viewing is one such example. It involves accessing information about distant locations or events without using the ordinary senses, and the process has been studied by governments as well as in private research. Think about the Stargate project, a top-secret U.S. government program that investigated the potential of remote viewing for intelligence-gathering purposes. During these experiments, individuals were able to accurately describe distant locations, view hidden objects, and even predict future events, all without any physical contact or sensory input. If remote viewing is a genuine phenomenon, what does that mean for our understanding of space and time? Does it suggest that consciousness can transcend the limitations of the physical world, accessing information from anywhere in the universe at any point in time? Consider the implications for our understanding of time. Is time truly linear, a progression from past to future, or is it more like a vast, interconnected web, where all moments are equally accessible. Perhaps remote viewing demonstrates that space and time are not as fixed or absolute as we commonly believe, and that consciousness can move freely beyond their constraints. What would happen if more people practiced it? Could we unlock new potentials of consciousness? These explorations of remote viewing lead us to the power of intention and attention, the twin forces that shape our experience of reality. Our intentions act as a compass, guiding our thoughts, feelings, and actions towards our desired outcomes. Where we place our attention acts like a focusing lens, and the more we choose to focus on something, the clearer, more defined, and ultimately more real it becomes. Think about the power of the placebo effect, where positive expectations can lead to improved health outcomes, even in the absence of any active medication. Or consider the impact of focused attention in practices like meditation and visualization, where we can train our minds to become more aware of our intentions and to manifest our desired realities. What would happen if we shifted our attention from fear and scarcity to love and abundance, consciously co-creating a world that reflects our highest ideals? Meditation and visualization are practices that help us to become more aware of the reality tunnels we've constructed, the individual filters through which we perceive the world. Our beliefs, experiences, and conditioning create unique lenses that shape what we notice, how we interpret events, and how we respond to situations. Robert Anton Wilson, in his concept of reality tunnels, explained how everyone lives in their own subjective reality, shaped by their individual experiences and beliefs. Think about the impact of political ideologies, religious beliefs, and cultural norms. They create distinct reality tunnels that shape people's views of the world. We may believe there is only one way of viewing reality. However, someone with a different reality tunnel may see things quite differently. How can we become more aware of our own reality tunnels, recognizing how they are shaping our perceptions and limiting our potential? It then becomes apparent that language plays a vital role in this process. The words we use can either reinforce or challenge our existing beliefs, shaping our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Framing and rhetoric can be used to manipulate public opinion or to create a sense of hope and inspiration, and this simple trick can be seen across the world. We can consciously choose words that support our desired outcomes and challenge limiting beliefs. Conscious choice should be made to refrain from gossip, judgment, and negative criticism. How can we harness the power of language to create more empowering narratives, both for ourselves and for the world around us? As you can see, challenging your limiting beliefs and assumptions is an ongoing process of self-discovery and transformation. Keep a journal to track negative thoughts and identifying the underlying beliefs that are driving them. Research alternative perspectives, seek out contradictory evidence, and engage in dialogue with people who hold different beliefs. Consciously choose to replace limiting beliefs with more positive and empowering beliefs that support our desired outcomes. Regardless of your circumstances, never forget that you have the power to create a more fulfilling reality for yourself. How will you begin to challenge your own beliefs today? So, with the power to challenge your own beliefs, it is time to re-examine the Pentagon documents and their purported connection to this idea of a reality breakdown. Remember, these documents aren't necessarily definitive proof, but they serve as a fascinating anomaly. The key is to view them as an invitation to ask deeper questions, to initiate our own personal investigation into the nature of things. Because while the Pentagon documents might have sparked this journey, the path to understanding stretches far beyond those initial reports. We can observe scientific anomalies, philosophical paradoxes, and even our own personal experiences that continuously nudge us to question what we accept as real. Consider the observer effect in quantum physics, where the act of observing a phenomenon changes the phenomenon itself, or Zeno's paradox, where motion appears logically impossible. Do these paradoxes and findings not also challenge our everyday assumptions about the universe? Shouldn't we treat the journey into understanding reality as a grand reality quest, a personal and collective journey of knowledge and self-discovery? It's a quest where we become active participants, not passive observers. It is an ongoing investigation, fueled by curiosity and a willingness to challenge predetermined truths. And this quest highlights the fascinating dance between the official narratives we're fed by society and the potential for unexpected truths to emerge from the unknown. History is full of examples. Think of Galileo's heliocentric model of the solar system, initially rejected by the mainstream scientific community, or the discovery of penicillin, an accidental breakthrough that revolutionized medicine. Both faced resistance before they were ultimately accepted. So, are the Pentagon documents another Galileo moment, or a medical breakthrough? Perhaps they will act as another reminder that accepted beliefs can be upended by the power of discovery. How will you approach the quest for truth? Now, what is the nature of belief? Let's explore its power to shape our world. Our beliefs act as filters, meticulously shaping our perception of reality. The beliefs influence how we interpret events, how we react to challenges, and ultimately, what kind of experiences we attract into our lives. If you believe the world is a dangerous place, you'll likely see threats and negativity everywhere you look. If you believe you're capable of achieving great things, you're more likely to take risks and pursue your goals with unwavering determination. The science behind the placebo effect is a compelling example of the power of belief. Studies have shown that patients receiving a fake treatment can experience real improvements in their health simply because they believe the treatment is effective. Or consider the Pygmalion effect in education, where teachers' expectations of students can significantly impact their academic performance. To start harnessing this power, it's time to inventory your core beliefs. Take a moment to identify the beliefs that underpin your understanding of reality, your perception of yourself, and your vision for your future. Begin by creating a list of your assumptions about the nature of reality. Is it fixed or fluid, friendly or hostile, meaningful or random? Then examine your beliefs about success. What does it mean to you, and what are you willing to do to achieve it? Explore your beliefs about relationships. What do you expect from others, and what are you willing to give? Don't be afraid to dig deep and uncover hidden assumptions that may be shaping your life in unseen ways. What you find may surprise you. The most challenging step is identifying the origin of your beliefs. Did you develop these beliefs through your own observation and personal experience, or did you adopt them from your parents, teachers, or society? But identifying your beliefs is only the first step. The real power lies in challenging the limiting ones. Use the 5 whys technique to drill down to the root causes of a belief. For example, if you believe I'm not good enough, ask yourself why. Perhaps you'll find that you're afraid of failure or that you're seeking validation from others. Keep asking why until you reach the core of the issue. Then use cognitive restructuring to challenge irrational thoughts. If you find yourself thinking, I'll never succeed, ask yourself what evidence supports that belief. Are there examples of times when you have succeeded? Are you focusing only on your failures and ignoring your strengths? Reframe negative thoughts into more positive and realistic ones. Instead of I'll never succeed, try I may face challenges, but I'm capable of learning and growing. By challenging your beliefs, can you change your reality? By actively challenging limiting beliefs, you change the filter through which you experience the world. It's as if the moment you acknowledge a mental limitation, its hold on you weakens. Suddenly, you're open to new possibilities, new opportunities, and new ways of being. Think of a time when you changed a deeply held belief. Perhaps you used to believe you weren't creative, but then you took a painting class and discovered a hidden talent. Or maybe you used to believe you weren't capable of running a marathon, but then you started training and proved yourself wrong. How did that change your perception of yourself and your potential? How can you apply that same process to other areas of your life? This brings us to the illusion of separation and the concept of interconnectedness. Quantum physics, spiritual teachings, and systems thinking each in their own way, point towards the interconnected nature of reality. Quantum entanglement reveals that two particles can be linked in such a way that they instantaneously affect each other, regardless of the distance separating them. Spiritual traditions speak of the oneness of all things, the idea that we are all part of a single, universal consciousness. Systems thinking emphasizes that everything is interconnected, and that actions in one part of a system can have ripple effects throughout the entire system. Think about the butterfly effect, the idea that a small change in one place can have significant consequences elsewhere. What if our every thought, feeling, and action is like a pebble dropped into a pond, creating ripples that extend far beyond our immediate surroundings? But if we accept that we are all interconnected, why does reality seem so fragmented and separate? The answer may lie in the limitations of our senses. Our five senses provide a limited and filtered view of reality, focusing on a narrow range of frequencies and vibrations. Consider sensory deprivation experiments, where individuals are deprived of external stimuli, experience altered states of consciousness, and perceive realities beyond the ordinary. Or the animals capable of perceiving frequencies of light and sound that humans cannot even detect. What other aspects of reality are we missing because of the limitations of our senses? What if our reliance on sensory perception is preventing us from seeing the deeper interconnectedness of all things? What would happen if we could expand our awareness beyond the confines of our physical senses? To begin transcending these perceived limitations, try performing reality checks throughout your day. Question the solidity of what you perceive. Test the boundaries of what you consider possible. For example, look at a digital clock, then look away and back again. Did the numbers change as you expected, or did something seem slightly off? Or try the classic dream check of pushing your finger through your palm. Does your finger pass through? These simple exercises can help you to become more aware of the constructed nature of reality and to question the assumptions that underpin your everyday experience. What other glitches in the matrix can you identify in your daily life? The illusion of separation is intimately connected to the illusion of linear time. We tend to think of time as a straight line, a progression from past to present to future. However, quantum physics suggests that time may be far more fluid and nonlinear than we realize. If past, present, and future are interconnected, then our actions in the present can affect the future, and our memories of the past can shape our present experience. The concept of karma illustrates this principle, suggesting that our actions create consequences that ripple through time, affecting our future lives. Think about the choices you're making today. How will those choices affect your future self, your relationships, and the world around you? Are you living in alignment with the future you wish to create? How does questioning linear time, then, help you to transcend this illusion of separation? We can now see that the perceived reality breakdown is not a collapse, but rather an opportunity to expand our awareness and understanding, to challenge our assumptions and embrace a more interconnected view of reality. Think of the breakdown as a call to wake up from the dream of consensus reality, to step outside the confines of our limiting beliefs and embrace the infinite possibilities that lie beyond. The most important thing you can do is to cultivate mindfulness. By paying attention to your breath, noticing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, and engaging fully with your surroundings, you can cultivate a sense of groundedness and presence that allows you to navigate the shifting landscape of reality with greater ease. What can you learn from the feelings and thoughts you are experiencing right now? The path forward requires that we challenge our belief in absolute truth. Actively seek out information that challenges your beliefs. Engage in respectful dialogue with people who hold different views. Be willing to admit when you're wrong and to change your mind in the face of new evidence. Question the narratives you've been told about the world, about yourself, and about your potential. But all of this questioning requires intention and attention. If you are aware that your attention shapes your experience, you can consciously choose to focus on positive and empowering thoughts and feelings. If you intend to create a more loving and compassionate world, you can consciously choose to act in ways that reflect those intentions. Intention directs, and attention focuses the mind. These are tools available to everyone at any time. What will you focus on today? Now, with these tools of intention and attention in hand, let's turn our gaze outward. What signs indicate that society itself might be experiencing a reality breakdown? We see it in the escalating political polarization, where opposing sides demonize each other and struggle to find common ground. Statistical data reveals rising rates of anxiety and depression, suggesting a growing sense of unease and disconnection. The wealth gap continues to widen, fueling social unrest and resentment. Environmental crises loom large, threatening the stability of our ecosystems and the well-being of future generations. These aren't isolated incidents, but interconnected symptoms of a deeper malaise, wouldn't you agree? This erosion of shared beliefs and values leaves us adrift in a sea of conflicting narratives. Social media, once hailed as a tool for connection, has become a breeding ground for echo chambers and filter bubbles, reinforcing existing beliefs and limiting exposure to diverse perspectives. We become entrenched in our own ideological silos, increasingly unable to understand or empathize with those who hold different views. Consider how easily misinformation and disinformation spread online, manipulating public perception and undermining trust in institutions. This mimetic warfare, where competing narratives vie for dominance, creates a sense of collective disorientation, making it difficult to discern truth from falsehood. Isn't it becoming harder to agree on even basic facts? Yet, even amidst this apparent societal chaos, the breakdown can serve as a catalyst for profound personal and collective transformation. When the old structures crumble, we are compelled to seek deeper truths, more authentic connections, and more sustainable ways of living. Look around you, and you'll see the rise of alternative communities and movements that are challenging the status quo and creating new models for a more equitable and just world. People are questioning traditional career paths, embracing minimalism, and prioritizing experiences over material possessions. This isn't just a trend. It's a sign that more and more people are waking up to the limitations of the conventional reality and seeking something more meaningful. Are you feeling that pull towards something different in your own life? Of course, it would be naive to ignore the possibility that certain groups may be actively trying to control or manipulate this reality. The concept of elite power structures, whether they be corporations, governments, or media conglomerates, and their influence on societal narratives and systems raises profound questions about who shapes our perceptions and how. Consider the role of powerful lobbying groups in influencing policy decisions, or the control of mainstream media by a handful of corporations. Are these entities simply providing information, or are they actively shaping public opinion to serve their own interests? What steps can we take to ensure a more level playing field, where diverse voices can be heard and where power is distributed more equitably? The idea of predictive programming suggests that media and entertainment can be used to subtly influence future events or to normalize certain behaviors or beliefs. Think about the recurring themes and images that appear in movies, television shows, and advertising. Are they simply reflecting our society, or are they shaping it in subtle but profound ways? Consider, for example, the increasing prevalence of violence in entertainment or the constant bombardment of messages promoting consumerism. Do these images and messages influence our behavior, even unconsciously? What responsibility do creators and distributors of media have to consider the potential impact of their work? Examples of potential reality manipulation abound, from false flag operations and manufactured consent to the use of propaganda during wartime. While it's important to approach these topics with critical thinking and skepticism, it's also crucial to remain aware of the possibility that we are not always being told the whole truth. Consider historical examples of government deception, such as the Gulf of Tonkin incident or the Iraq War, and the devastating consequences that followed. What safeguards can we put in place to prevent these kinds of manipulations from happening again? How do we ensure that our leaders are held accountable for their actions? The stakes are incredibly high. Allowing others to control our reality can lead to a loss of freedom, autonomy, and self-determination. If we blindly accept the narratives that are presented to us without questioning them, we risk becoming mere puppets in someone else's game. Protecting civil liberties, promoting transparency, and fostering critical thinking skills are essential for maintaining a free and democratic society. But these protections and promotion require active participation from informed citizens. What role do you see yourself playing in safeguarding our collective freedom? So, how do we counter this potential manipulation? It starts with developing strong critical thinking skills. This means learning how to evaluate information objectively, identify biases, and recognize logical fallacies. Use the Socratic method to question assumptions, the CRAAP test to evaluate the credibility of sources, currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, purpose, and the scientific method to test hypotheses. Don't take anything at face value. Always dig deeper and seek out multiple perspectives. Remember, true knowledge is not simply the accumulation of facts, but the ability to analyze and synthesize information in a meaningful way. How are you actively sharpening your critical thinking skills? Independent research is paramount. Don't rely solely on mainstream media or official sources for your information. Seek out diverse perspectives, read books from different points of view, listen to podcasts with diverse voices, and engage in respectful dialogue with people who hold different beliefs. Challenge your own assumptions and be willing to consider alternative explanations. The more you expose yourself to different viewpoints, the more well-rounded and informed your own perspective will become. What new sources of information will you explore this week? Cultivating cognitive resilience can help us withstand manipulation and propaganda. This involves building our mental and emotional strength, practicing self-care, cultivating mindfulness, and developing emotional regulation skills. When we are grounded and centered, we are less likely to be swayed by fear-mongering or emotional appeals. Taking care of our mental and emotional well-being is not a luxury. It's a necessity in a world that is constantly trying to influence us. What steps can you take today to strengthen your cognitive resilience? Critical thinking allows us to become aware of our own reality tunnels and to consciously adjust them rather than being passively controlled by them. Practice identifying your cognitive biases, such as confirmation bias, the tendency to seek out information that confirms your existing beliefs, or the availability heuristic, the tendency to overestimate the importance of information that is easily accessible. Actively seek out information that challenges your beliefs and be willing to change your mind in the face of new evidence. By becoming aware of our own filters, we can see reality more clearly and make more informed decisions. What is one belief you're willing to challenge this week? Ultimately, reclaiming your reality is about shifting the focus from external manipulation to internal empowerment. While external forces may try to control us, we always have the power to choose our own thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Remember, you have the freedom to choose how you respond to any given situation. You can choose to focus on the positive or the negative, to be hopeful or despairing, to be proactive or reactive. Your choices shape your reality, so choose wisely. What is one small change you can make today to reclaim your power? Reality hacking involves using techniques like visualization, affirmations, and intention setting to consciously shape our experience of reality. Create effective affirmations that are positive, specific, and believable. Visualize your desired outcomes in vivid detail, engaging all of your senses. Set clear intentions for your day, your week, and your life, and take concrete actions to move towards your goals. These practices are not about magically changing the world around you, but about changing your perception of the world and aligning your actions with your desired outcomes. What reality hack will you try today? Finally, aligning our thoughts, feelings, and actions amplifies our creative power and helps us manifest our desires more effectively. When our thoughts, feelings, and actions are in congruence, we create a powerful force field that attracts positive outcomes. This means living in alignment with our values, pursuing our passions, and surrounding ourselves with supportive people. It also means being honest with ourselves and others, and taking responsibility for our choices. When we are authentic and integrated, we become powerful co-creators of our reality. What is one step you can take today to align your thoughts, feelings, and actions? Conscious awareness, focused intention, and empowering beliefs work together to create a more fulfilling reality. Create a vision board that represents your desired outcomes, meditate on your goals, and actively cultivate positive emotions. Remember, you are not a passive victim of circumstance, but an active co-creator of your life. By consciously choosing your thoughts, beliefs, and actions, you can shape your reality in profound ways. So, what reality will you choose to create? Let's turn our attention now to how these Pentagon documents deliver information instead of merely what they reveal. Have you noticed the subtle dance of language within their pages? Vague wording, unexplained jargon, or perhaps inconsistencies nestled within the reporting. These aren't necessarily signs of incompetence, but potentially deliberate choices that obscure a deeper truth. Consider how easily complex information can be diluted, redirected, or even disappear with carefully crafted language. Are we being presented with the full picture, or just a carefully managed slice of it? This analysis naturally leads us to contemplate broader patterns of government secrecy and information control. Throughout history, governments have strategically managed the flow of information to serve various purposes, from maintaining national security to shaping public opinion. Think back to the Pentagon Papers themselves, the Watergate scandal, or more recently, debates surrounding government surveillance programs. Could these Pentagon documents be another piece in a larger puzzle, an attempt to manage public perception of the unknown? Perhaps the narrative around these documents is being carefully shaped, and it's up to us to decipher the underlying message, the unspoken truth that lingers beneath the surface. The concept of strategic ambiguity becomes particularly relevant here. Imagine a scenario where a government wants to acknowledge a phenomenon without fully disclosing its nature or implications. They might release a report filled with technical jargon and carefully worded statements that are open to multiple interpretations. This allows them to maintain deniability, avoid revealing sensitive information, and control the narrative without outright lying. Official statements become shrouded in a fog of uncertainty, leaving the public to grapple with incomplete information. Can you see how this tactic could be used to manage public reaction to potentially unsettling discoveries? Therefore, the true implications of these Pentagon documents may extend far beyond what is explicitly stated. By reading between the lines, questioning the assumptions, and conducting independent investigations, we can begin to glimpse a reality that is far more complex and perhaps even fundamentally different from what we have been led to believe. Don't passively accept the information, actively dissect and analyze it. Are you willing to embark on this journey of critical inquiry, to challenge the official narrative and seek a deeper understanding? The stakes, as you can probably tell, are nothing short of our perception of reality itself. This brings us to a question that has plagued philosophers and scientists for centuries. What is time, really? We conventionally perceive time as a linear progression, a one-way street stretching from the past to the present and hurtling towards the future. But what if this is just one limited perspective? What if alternative models of time exist, models that challenge our fundamental assumptions about cause and effect? Consider cyclical time, the concept embraced by many ancient cultures, where time is not a straight line but a circle, with events repeating themselves in predictable cycles. Or perhaps quantum time, where the past, present, and future exist simultaneously in a superposition of possibilities. Science fiction often explores the idea of time as a dimension that can be traversed, like space, allowing for paradoxes and alternate timelines. Nietzsche's concept of eternal recurrence asks us to imagine living the same life in the same way for eternity, forcing us to confront the choices we make in the present moment. Are these just fanciful ideas, or do they point to a deeper truth about the nature of time? Evidence from both physics and psychology suggests that our perception of time may not be as fixed as we think. Experiments on retrocausality explore the possibility that the future can influence the past. The déjà vu phenomenon, that eerie feeling of having experienced something before, hints at a possible blurring of past and present. And the subjective experience of time dilation, where time seems to slow down during moments of intense stress or flow, further challenges our linear understanding. Some studies have explored the effects of meditation on the perception of time, finding that regular practice can alter our sense of its passage. The Mandela effect, where large groups of people share false memories of past events, raises profound questions about the reliability of our collective timeline. Is time truly a rigid, linear construct, or is it more fluid and malleable than we imagine? If time isn't linear, then phenomena like precognition, intuition, and synchronicity become less mysterious. Perhaps these are not supernatural abilities, but rather glimpses into a nonlinear reality, where the boundaries between past, present, and future are blurred. Intuition, for example, might be a way of accessing information from the future, allowing us to make more informed decisions in the present. Synchronicity, those meaningful coincidences that seem to defy chance, might be evidence of patterns that exist beyond the limitations of linear time. Have you ever had a premonition that came true, or experienced a synchronicity that felt too meaningful to be mere coincidence? Extending our examination even further into the concept of nonlinear time reveals a startling implication. If the future can indeed influence the past, then the very bedrock of our understanding of cause and effect is destabilized. If effects can precede their causes, then what are we to make of the reality around us? This twist suggests that reality may possess an element of self-creation, as our future selves may be influencing our present. The implications here are staggering. This potentially imbues us with a degree of responsibility that our current selves are products of choices both past, present, and future. If we can consciously influence and shape our future, we can influence and shape the present. Does this added responsibility empower you or cause you more anxiety? This brings us to another profound question. Are we truly separate individuals, or are we all interconnected through a collective consciousness? The idea of a collective consciousness, sometimes referred to as the noosphere, suggests that individual minds are not isolated entities, but rather nodes within a shared field of awareness. Imagine a vast, invisible network connecting all of humanity, a global mind constantly exchanging thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Carl Jung's concept of the collective unconscious proposes that all humans share a common reservoir of archetypes, symbols, and instincts that influence our behavior and beliefs. Systems theory explores the idea of a global brain, where individual minds act as interconnected neurons, forming a larger, self-organizing system. These concepts suggest that our individual consciousness is not limited to our physical bodies, but extends outwards, connecting us to something larger than ourselves. How does this interconnectedness change your perspective on your own thoughts and actions? Evidence for the existence of collective consciousness can be found in various phenomena. Studies on group consciousness have shown that when people gather together with a shared intention, their brain waves tend to synchronize. Mass meditations have been linked to decreased crime rates and increased social harmony. The 100th monkey effect suggests that when a critical mass of individuals learns a new skill or adopts a new behavior, it can spread rapidly throughout the population, even to those who have not been directly exposed to it. Are these just coincidences, or do they point to a deeper interconnectedness between human minds? If a collective consciousness exists, then the reality breakdown we've been discussing may be a collective phenomenon. The shift in consciousness we are witnessing may be a result of individuals influencing each other's perceptions and experiences, creating a ripple effect that spreads throughout society. Societal unrest, political polarization, and environmental crises may be symptoms of a collective trauma or a collective awakening, as humanity grapples with the limitations of the old paradigm and seeks a new way forward. Are we witnessing the birth pangs of a new era, a collective shift towards a more conscious and sustainable way of living? Furthermore, the notion of a collective consciousness directly challenges the illusion of separation that pervades our modern world. It suggests that we are all part of a larger whole, interconnected and interdependent. The more aware we become of this interconnectedness, the greater our influence over the collective, and the greater our ability to consciously co-create a more positive and fulfilling reality. The challenge is to embrace this interconnectedness and act in ways that benefit the whole, rather than just ourselves. To what degree are your actions today aligned with the collective good? Having explored these theoretical concepts, let's shift our focus to practical techniques for exploring alternative realities. How can we consciously tap into these other dimensions of consciousness and gain a deeper understanding of the nature of reality? Various methods have been developed throughout history, each offering a unique pathway to expanded awareness. Lucid dreaming, the ability to become aware that you are dreaming while you are still in the dream state, allows you to consciously explore and manipulate the dream world. Astral projection, also known as out-of-body experience, involves separating your consciousness from your physical body and traveling to other realms. Sensory deprivation, through techniques like flotation tanks, can reduce external stimuli and allow you to access altered states of consciousness. And of course, meditation, the ancient practice of focusing your attention and quieting your mind, can lead to profound insights and experiences. Have you ever experimented with any of these techniques, and what did you discover? Reality shifting is a more recent phenomenon, where individuals are consciously attempting to shift their awareness to alternative realities through specific techniques and belief systems. This often involves using visualization, affirmations, and scripting to create a desired reality in their minds, then focusing their attention and intention on shifting their consciousness into that reality. Some reality shifters believe that they can physically transport themselves to other dimensions, while others see it as a way to explore different aspects of their own consciousness. Is this just wishful thinking, or is there something more to it? Exploring alternative realities can offer potential benefits, such as personal growth, expanded awareness, and spiritual insight. It can allow us to break free from limiting beliefs, gain new perspectives on our lives, and connect with something larger than ourselves. However, it's also important to be aware of the potential risks, such as escapism, mental instability, or confusion. It's crucial to maintain a strong sense of self and to stay grounded in our physical reality while exploring these other dimensions. How do you ensure that you are approaching these explorations with a balanced and responsible mindset? Expanding on what we've already discussed and combining intention, attention, and belief with these explorations of alternative realities opens new doors for conscious creation. With proper focus, the act of accessing these other states isn't just about exploration. It's about actively shaping the potential for a more desired reality. Consider it a playground for your consciousness, where the rules are more flexible and the possibilities are limitless. Are you ready to step onto that playground and begin experimenting with the power of your own mind? Building on that notion of shaping potential for a more desired reality, let's delve into the simulation hypothesis. Now, we're not necessarily trying to definitively answer if we're in a simulation or not. Think about it instead as a lens through which we can examine the nature of reality, regardless of whether it's real or simulated. Nick Bostrom's simulation argument, for example, poses thought-provoking questions about the technological possibilities of advanced civilizations. Whether or not you agree with his conclusions, the argument forces you to confront the potential for simulated realities and their implications for our understanding of existence. So, beyond a simple yes or no, what lessons can we extract from this hypothesis? What does it tell us about our place in the cosmos, our capabilities, and our limitations? Consider the concept of non-player characters, or NPCs, within a simulated environment. If our reality is a simulation, could some individuals be more programmed than others, lacking the same level of conscious awareness or agency? Are we all equally conscious, or do some of us operate more like automatons, simply reacting to predetermined stimuli? This isn't about judging or labeling others, but about challenging our assumptions about the nature of consciousness itself. Perhaps the distinction between awakened and unawakened individuals reflects varying degrees of self-awareness and connection to our potential. To what extent are your actions driven by conscious choice versus pre-programmed responses? What should we make of free will in a simulated world? If our every action is determined by lines of code, can we truly be said to have free will? Even within a simulation, choices have consequences within the system. Just as a character in a video game can make decisions that impact the storyline, our choices within this reality, simulated or not, have ramifications. The question then becomes, how do we exercise our free will even within the constraints of a potentially predetermined system? How can we ensure that we are consciously choosing our roles rather than passively accepting the default settings? Even if the simulation hypothesis is merely a thought experiment, seeing the world through this lens can be incredibly empowering. If reality is like a video game or a virtual reality, the ultimate question becomes, what kind of game would you like to play? What rules would you like to create? What challenges would you like to overcome? Reframing reality as a game allows us to approach life with a sense of playfulness, creativity, and intentionality. Are you ready to design your own game, to consciously create the reality you desire? With this in mind, let's explore practical techniques for breaking the code of the simulation, even if it's just a metaphor. These tools focus on enhancing self-awareness, challenging assumptions, and expanding perception. Start by questioning your own thoughts. Become aware of the narratives that run through your mind, the beliefs that shape your perceptions, and the assumptions that limit your possibilities. Identify your cognitive biases, those mental shortcuts that can distort your judgment and lead you astray. Challenge your pre-programmed beliefs, those ingrained ideas that you've accepted without question. What if everything you thought you knew was wrong? What if there were alternative perspectives that you hadn't considered? Next, begin reality glitch hunts. Actively seek anomalies, inconsistencies, or glitches in your daily experience. Pay close attention to déjà vu experiences, those strange moments where you feel like you've lived through something before. Notice synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem to defy chance. Frame these events not as random occurrences, but as potential cracks in the simulated reality, glimpses beyond the veil of illusion. For example, have you ever thought of someone just before they called you, or found yourself in the right place at the right time to witness an extraordinary event? Consider sensory overrides to disrupt our reliance on normal senses, to help peel back the layers of perceived reality. Engage in activities that challenge your ordinary sensory input, such as spending time in flotation tanks, immersing yourself in deep meditation, or taking long walks in nature. Depriving yourself of external stimuli can sharpen your inner senses and allow you to access altered states of consciousness. The more controlled the stimuli, the easier it becomes to create your own reality, to shape your perceptions and experiences. Is it time to plan a day in nature or a sensory deprivation experience? These tools allow us to rewrite our reality tunnels and create new possibilities. By becoming aware of our filters, those mental constructs that shape our perceptions, we can actively challenge and transform them. Learning to identify and question their own reality tunnels allows people to create new possibilities and opportunities for their own lives. Like an artist choosing a new canvas or a writer crafting a new story, we have the power to shape our reality according to our intentions. What new possibilities are you ready to explore? What should we do with the ethical considerations of reality hacking? If we can consciously shape our reality, what are our responsibilities to ourselves, to others, and to the world at large? The potential for manipulating others' perceptions or exploiting the system for personal gain is, sadly, a very real possibility. It's key to remember that these actions are ultimately harmful both to ourselves and to those around us. Like a virus in a computer system, negative intentions can corrupt the entire program. How can we ensure that our reality hacking efforts are aligned with the greater good? Embrace ethical intention. Align your intentions with your values and act in accordance with principles of compassion, integrity, and service. Create a personal code of ethics to guide your actions and decisions, a set of principles that reflects your deepest values and aspirations. Before making any decision, ask yourself, is this action aligned with my core values? Will it benefit myself and others? Will it contribute to a more just and sustainable world? Consider the potential for using reality hacking for positive change. How can we use our power to create a more just, sustainable, and fulfilling world for all? Look for individuals and organizations that are using conscious creation techniques to address social and environmental problems. Support their efforts, learn from their example, and contribute your own unique talents and abilities. Perhaps you could use your skills to advocate for social justice, promote environmental sustainability, or inspire others to live more consciously. How can you use your reality hacking abilities to make a difference in the world? Reality hacking is a power that needs to be used wisely. Like any powerful tool, it can be used for good or for ill. Remember that what you put into the universe will ultimately come back to you, so make sure you are putting good things out there. Focus on creating positive change, uplifting others, and contributing to a more harmonious world. By aligning our intentions with our values and acting with ethical intention, we can ensure that our reality hacking efforts serve the highest good. We started with the question of whether reality is breaking down, and we've arrived at a point where we can see that reality is not fixed, but malleable. Let's summarize the key concepts we've explored. We examined the Pentagon documents and questioned their hidden meanings. We delved into the simulation hypothesis and its implications for free will and personal responsibility. We explored the power of belief and the illusion of separation. And we emphasized the importance of conscious creation and ethical intention. How do these concepts fit together in your own understanding of reality? Now, consider this your clear call to action. Take responsibility for shaping your own reality and contribute to a more positive future for all. Commit to practicing mindfulness, challenging limiting beliefs, and acting with ethical intention. Cultivate self-awareness, question your assumptions, and expand your perceptions. Embrace your power to create a more fulfilling life and contribute to a more just and sustainable world. How will you integrate these practices into your daily life? The reality breakdown is not a doomsday scenario, but an opportunity for awakening and evolution. By embracing our power to consciously create our own reality, we can transform our lives and contribute to a more positive future for all. Remember that you have the power to shape your own destiny and to co-create a more fulfilling world. Are you ready to embrace your potential and step into your role as a conscious co-creator? In future videos, we'll dive deeper into specific practices like lucid dreaming, reality shifting, and intention setting, providing you with the tools you need to become a master of your own reality. We'll explore advanced techniques for manipulating your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, allowing you to consciously create the life you desire. What specific techniques are you most interested in learning about? Now, as we draw toward the end of our time together, let's return our attention to those Pentagon documents. They are not the be-all and end-all of truth, nor should we see them as the only source of valuable knowledge. Instead, Consider the documents as having served as a catalyst. They acted as a key, unlocking a deeper exploration into the nature of reality. They prompted us to question, to investigate, and to seek our own understanding. Think of them as a starting point, a signpost on the road to personal discovery, not as the final destination. And what is the primary revelation we've stumbled upon during this journey? It is this. The power to define and shape your reality lies not with governments, institutions, or any external authority. It resides within you. The true, massive alert isn't about hidden knowledge possessed by a select few. It's about the incredible potential that you possess to consciously create your experience. This realization is far more significant than any secret document or conspiracy theory. Are you ready to accept this power and wield it responsibly? The official narrative, the one presented by mainstream media and established institutions, will always exist, attempting to define your experience and tell you what to believe. But remember, your truth is not a prepackaged product to be consumed passively. It's a dynamic creation, born from your own exploration, your own experiences, and your own conscious choices. It is less about finding a singular, correct answer, and more about embarking on a lifelong process of discovery. Will you allow the official narrative to dictate your reality, or will you forge your own path? Ultimately, navigating this perceived reality breakdown is about harmonizing our internal understanding with the external world, bridging the gap between our inner landscape and the reality we perceive around us. This isn't about escaping reality or retreating into a fantasy world. It's about consciously engaging with it, shaping it from the inside out, imbuing it with our values, our intentions, and our deepest desires. It's not about denying the existence of external events, but about consciously choosing how we respond to them. Are you prepared to consciously engage with the world and shape it with your intentions? This individual journey of reality creation doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's intricately connected to broader societal trends. Think of it like a ripple effect. As more and more individuals awaken to their power and consciously shape their realities, we collectively create a more positive, sustainable, and fulfilling world for everyone. Individual empowerment becomes a catalyst for collective transformation, shifting the balance of power from the external to the internal, from the few to the many. How can you contribute to this collective awakening? The discomfort and uncertainty that often accompany this reality breakdown shouldn't be seen as signs of failure or impending doom. Rather, they are signals of growth and evolution, both on an individual and collective scale. Disorientation isn't a dead end. It's an invitation to expand your horizons, to challenge your assumptions, and to evolve your consciousness beyond its current limitations. Embrace the uncertainty, for it is in these moments of discomfort that we often experience the greatest breakthroughs. Are you willing to embrace the disorientation and allow it to guide you towards greater understanding? Consider each thought, action, and belief as a pebble dropped into the pond of collective consciousness. Every choice you make, every value you embody, contributes to the overall energy of the planet, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond your immediate surroundings. Choose wisely, for your individual actions have the power to influence the collective destiny of humanity. Even seemingly small acts of kindness, compassion, and creativity can have a profound impact on the world around you. Will you choose to be a positive force in the world? The most fundamental transformation lies in shifting from being a passive recipient of a predefined reality to becoming an active co-creator of your own experience. You are not a victim of circumstance, tossed about by the whims of fate. You are a powerful creator, equipped with the ability to shape your destiny, to design your life according to your own unique vision. It's time to recognize your innate creative power and step into your role as a conscious architect of your own reality. Are you ready to claim your power and create the life you desire? Now, let's return to the initial mysteries that propelled us on this journey, those nagging questions about the true nature of reality and whether the government knows more than it reveals. While we may never have all the answers, while some secrets may remain hidden, the journey of questioning, of seeking understanding, is ultimately more valuable than any definitive answer. The pursuit of truth is a lifelong endeavor, a continuous process of exploration and discovery. What questions will you continue to explore? We now understand the immense power that is unlocked with awareness of personal filters and reality tunnels. Like switching channels on a television, we have the capacity to consciously alter the lens through which we perceive the world. It's not a one-time fix, but rather an ongoing process of refinement. Awareness is not a fixed destination to be reached, but a continuous practice to be cultivated. Keep questioning, keep exploring, keep choosing the reality that resonates with your soul. What reality will you choose today? When we start questioning the very nature of reality, fear and uncertainty can naturally arise. This is a normal part of the process. Develop a framework for dealing with these emotions. Cultivate inner peace through mindfulness practices. Extend self-compassion to yourself during moments of doubt, and foster a deep sense of connection to something larger than yourself, whether it be nature, the universe, or a higher power. When fear arises, remember that you are not alone, and that you have the inner resources to navigate any challenge. What practices will you embrace to cultivate inner peace and resilience? Trust your intuition, embrace the unknown with curiosity and courage, and know that the universe is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust the process, trust yourself, and trust the journey, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. You are exactly where you need to be, learning the lessons you need to learn, and evolving into the person you are meant to become. What steps will you take to cultivate trust in yourself and the universe? Now that you understand that you have the power to shape your reality, the ultimate question becomes, what kind of world will you create? What values will you embody? What actions will you take? What future will you build, not just for yourself, but for generations to come? The possibilities are limitless, and the future is waiting to be written. What world will you choose to create? Remember that with great power comes great responsibility. Use your ability to shape reality for the benefit of all, aligning your intentions with principles of compassion, justice, and sustainability. Consider the ethical implications of your choices and strive to create a world that is not only fulfilling for you, but also beneficial for all beings. How will you use your power to create a more just and sustainable world? Connect with others who are on a similar journey, share your experiences, your insights, your questions, and support one another along the way. Join the community, share your thoughts in the comments section, and let's continue exploring these profound ideas together. Together, we can create a powerful wave of conscious evolution, transforming ourselves and the world around us. How will you connect with others on this journey? In upcoming videos, we'll delve even deeper into specific techniques for conscious creation, ethical reality hacking, and navigating the ever-shifting landscape of reality. We'll explore advanced techniques for lucid dreaming, astral projection, and quantum jumping. We will also look at strategies for creating a more positive and fulfilling life in a world that is constantly evolving. What specific techniques are you most interested in learning about? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.